Thank you so much, and it's my great pleasure and honor to be here. Briefly on me, I'm co-heading the strategy consulting team at PwC, and my professional background is very much focused on retail and consumer businesses. So I started in Procter& Gamble almost 20 years ago, then moved to consulting, and I've done it for 15 years now. And I'm very pleased to welcome my fantastic guests today. So with us, we have Dorota Prat-Karabin, Country Director for Eastern Europe at Ritual Cosmetics.
Witam serdecznie.
We have Tarek Wajbi, who's heading Carrefour in Poland. Hello, Tarek. With us is also Stanisław Bogacki, CEO at Solar. Dzień dobry, panie Stanisławie. Adam Kołodziejczyk, representing Superfarm Poland, and he's CEO there.
Good morning, everyone.
Not least, dzień dobry, panie Adamie. And last but not least, Wayne Hudson, Spar, wasz sklep. Hello.
Morning, everybody.
And let me just share briefly a few thoughts to frame a discussion. And I would like to start with really saying that access, I think, has been name of the game in the past 18 months, and especially a year and a half ago when the pandemic started, and really the physical access to shoppers was impossible as the stores were shut down, the supply chains were frozen. However, digital access still difficult, but it was feasible, and we saw really an explosion of e-commerce, and e-commerce sales tripled in the times of shutdowns, and overall throughout the whole year last year it doubled its pace of growth. So we saw normally let's say mid double-digit growth, 12, 13, 14%. In the past of e-commerce channel, it was well over 30%, 30, last year across all categories. So really a fast growth, and this new business is here to stay. So then we see in all research that the new shoppers who started online shopping last year during the pandemic, they claim they will continue shopping online. And the existing shoppers who had used e-commerce before, they intensified it last year, more transactions, higher tickets, and they also claim they will maintain this more intense shopping in digital channels going forward. So the growth is here to stay, and that requires better value propositions, that requires more convenient delivery options, that requires being faster. I think this quick access to shopper is really unlocking new opportunities. We see it quite strongly in grocery. We see actually some people believe that grocery is actually in the dawn of an e-commerce revolution that's driven by ultra fast delivery. A term was coined Q-commerce, which stands for quick commerce, and we see many startups around the world, Gorillas, Getir, Joker, just to name a few, who are getting multi-million funding and multi-billion valuations. Whether they succeed or not is to be seen. Surely they're putting more and more pressure on brick and mortar and physical stores. Outside of grocery, actually, physical stores have long been under a need to rethink or redesign their role in omni-channel ecosystem, being just one of the touch points from a consumer standpoint. Also, the shopping malls will need to rethink and maybe redesign their role in consumers' life. They clearly provide benefits of variety of choices and shopping experience, but this variety and experience is also transferring to online and offers a lot of opportunity in online. The multitude of touch points and channels, it surely increases the complexity of business for retailers, but at the same time, it comes with a benefit of the increasing amount of data at hand. And there are technologies out there that enable the usage of this data to make better business decisions. These technologies are increasingly potent, increasingly strong. Artificial intelligence is already driving decisions and creating competitive advantages in retail. There's this nice slogan we know from the past that goes, retail is detail. I think nowadays it's more proper to say that retail is data. And my final thought in this introduction, I think it goes beyond data or analytics. And I do believe that the pandemic has not only changed the way shoppers buy or the way we as business people make decisions, but it also changed us really as humans in how we think and who we are ultimately. And I believe the awareness of social, environmental concerns is now greater than ever, and it will only grow. And you know, the Greta Thunberg and her generation, they cannot be ignored. Greta is really the voice of the next generation of consumers, and responsibility can no longer be a trade-off with profitability. And actually, in future, it will be impossible to be profitable if you're not responsible. And already now, the competitive advantage of any business can be created by smartly integrating responsibility and sustainability in the business model or in business strategy. So all in all, exciting year or exciting 18 months are past. It's an exciting world to be in, and let's start the discussion with that framing. And I would like to pass my first question to Pani Dorota, and it's about the touch points and channels. I think it's specifically relevant for health and beauty. And the question is about the importance of a physical store as a main shopper touch point. It has decreased in pandemic. And how do you see the role of various touch points and channels in a retail ecosystem beyond 2021?
Of course, e-commerce is very important, and it's one of privileged channel to buy. And Corona period pushed it up, of course, but it was already a trend before, as our style of living is changing. We are much more conscious. We are much more aware how time is precious. We would like to spend valuable time with our friends, our families, taking care of ourselves. So whatever can do to save time, we will follow this trend. And I believe that it will grow like crazy in coming months. From other side, we are human. And we need, a human needs another human. We need energy of people. We need to grab together, to spend time together. And I saw the amazing excitement and happiness of our customers when we opened Ritual's physical stores. People were queuing for more than 1 hour. This is something showing that we need physical stores. And the challenge is to propose to our customers something exceptional. And I believe that we as Rituals, we are offering exceptional experience that you can enter our world, and via the selling ceremony at the water island, you can just smell, you can feel the product, you can touch the texture, or just make a conversation with our beauty advisor and feel the kindness, feel the smile. This is something that you cannot feel via screen. And you will be never able to feel all these emotions when you are purchasing online. So I would like to underline the importance of physical store and offering something different and exceptional to make our customers happy. And as our value is make the daily routines change to into meaningful moments and make our customer happy, I believe that it's only via the physical touch point. Of course, as a global brand, we are following the trends in technology and this trend in touch points. So we are offering click and collect. We are offering shipping from stores. We are offering that you can purchase in the store and then be shipped from at home. This is something that we will develop in Poland as well in coming weeks. And we would like for this happiness to offer to the customer the choice, that he can make a choice and decide. But the most important, all behind, must be this willingness to make our customer happy.
A great story, and I think in a category that's so engaging emotionally, there really are unlimited options to engage the customers. I'm wondering what will be the view on different channels and touch points of our guests from grocery, which is a bit of a different playground, a different battlefield. And I think my next question will go to Tarek, YB, and it's gonna be on something that I touched upon in my introduction. So the Q-commerce and rapid delivery models, they are a hype. Everyone is talking about them right now. How do you see the development of Q-commerce or e-commerce in general in grocery in Poland and Western Europe? Tarek.
Okay, thanks, Grzegorz, for this question. This is a quite interesting topic. But first of all, how does the Polish market looks like when it's about e-commerce? The food market shows the biggest difference between the entire market and the online channel, both in terms of share of the online channel in the entire market and the approach of the consumers to this kind of shopping. And according to PMR estimates, the online food sales accounted for only 0.6, 0.7 of the food market in Poland in 2020. And only the estimation in 2026, this share will approach 1%. So the market is still small. Regarding quick commerce, how does it look like today in Poland and in Western Europe? In addition to the comprehensive grocery shopping, usually composed by heavy products and bigger baskets that fluctuates in the range in our shops from 200 to 300 zloty, the new trend of the e-grocery market is quick commerce. In other words, we could call it express deliveries within 15 to 30 minutes of ordering. Quick commerce, however, will not dominate the online sale of food products and will be, from my point of view, complementary to planned purchases, fulfilling another shopping need with a much lower order value, but perhaps with a higher attendance. A chance for popularity in this channel have, for example, ready-to-eat products and spontaneous purchases, for example, with delivery to the office. Currently, in this channel in Poland, you said it, Grzegorz operates a startup like Joker in Warsaw, Lizek. Joker plans to expand based on its own dark stores with a delivery of about 2 kilometers. It is a dark store-based model that may be economically difficult in the Polish reality, but currently new players are financed by funds, so they are aimed at customer acquisition and sales and not necessarily at the first stage at profitability. So quick commerce in Poland currently has the best chance of success. I see it in Warsaw or big cities, but the trend should be observed. Quick commerce has also one advantage. It can break the averse to grocery shopping based on too long waiting time, which in the long run strengthens the desire to provide same-day services. In Europe, we are observing a strong trend of fast shopping resulting from a different way of living and moving in large cities, in London, in Paris, for example. It is worth, for example, mentioning that Carrefour France has recently invested in a startup named Caju, which is a very young startup founded this year in February 2021, so very quick. and an expert in quick deliveries already available in 10 cities with more than 100,000 users and offering a delivery of 2,000 products within 15 minutes over extensive operating hours. So this is also a good example of what is happening, for example, in Carrefour in France. Another example is in Romania, where we have at Carrefour there a strong experience regarding a personal shopper application called Bringo. And since few weeks, our colleagues in Romania, they are experimenting a quick delivery process on only 15 items within 15 minutes in Bucharest. Regarding Carrefour in Poland, we have since 18 months introduced our Sprint solution in 20 cities, which is a quick commerce solution, unfortunately not yet within 15-30 minutes, but that allows clients to make a full shopping with a wide assortment, the full assortment of a hypermarket, and being delivered within 3 hours. On the other hand, we are able to have faster deliveries within 15 minutes thanks to our partnership with Glovo in 7 cities in Poland. So what is to me the future of such solutions? In this perspective of the future, I think that the motto will be, you can have what you want, when you want, wherever you are in a big city, and time is no more the limit. But here, to make it really fast, less than 30 minutes, the range of products will be for sure limited. In this direction today, retailers of non-food are step by step going, such as Ibouvier, for example, in Poland. Quick commerce can be quite heavily exploited by the youngest e-commerce users who are gaining purchasing power because they live spontaneously in large cities. On the other hand, for such players like Carrefour, using the hypermarket space and matching it to ultra-fast picking along with building or acquiring the competence of cheap delivery can be also a natural element of format transformation and activation of these customers to the offline ecosystem in the next steps. This is also a way to enhance our omni-channel ecosystem in a way to reinforce the role of our physical hypermarkets. And here, in the perspective of 2 years, it is important how the fast supply chain will also develop and allow for optimization of profitability. Also, after 2 years, we will see how these companies like Joker, the one we spoke about, are doing in Poland, and after the end of the first rounds of financing. The key in this business is operational capacity and population density and a large number of orders so that there is no downtime. Paradoxically, this may be easier in the long run for a retailer generating other revenues like Carrefour versus pure player operating only in this segment, because the retailer will probably be able to cover possible small losses than other activities that will allow that other activities, other segments could not afford to, and because it will allow the customers to leverage also from it. So this is how I see it in the medium short future.
Thank you, Tarek. I think that's fascinating perspective, and I think, you know, the variety of shopper needs is so big, and it's just so that there are different business models to meet all those needs. And on one extreme, you know, there are hypermarkets who will cater to big weekly or twice weekly baskets at full range, and on the very other extreme, there's this ultra urgent, ultra fast emergency shopping mission space where Q-commerce is actually playing its role. Wayne, I'm wondering if you have other views on Q-commerce or e-commerce in general in grocery.
Yeah, morning, Greg, and morning, everybody. Good to meet everybody, albeit over a video screen. Greg, I think Tarek has covered it really well, and I think a lot of what he says is very similar, if not entirely the same in our business. I think if you look at, again, what he's touched on, obviously speed of delivery is important to the consumers, and times have changed. But I think, excuse me, what we also need to understand Tarek did allude to it, is we're working off, albeit the growth numbers in e-commerce are high, we're working off very low bases, okay? And if you look at it as a total part of the bigger part of the grocery business, it's still very, very small. And albeit we need to be in that space with regards to food retail, I personally still believe that the brick and mortar store will still be the preferred choice for the consumer, especially when it comes to fresh products. You know, your consumer still ultimately wants to feel, touch, see, fresh, specifically when it comes to fruit and veg and those sorts of things. So I do believe there's a space, but I honestly believe that brick and mortar will still continue to play the biggest part. Greg, you touched on it a little bit earlier on with regard to data. I think that's extremely important in the businesses going forward. I don't think enough of us use enough of the data that's actually there. And I think if you look at what e-commerce, the data that's produced and comes out of e-commerce is probably more important to be able to mine that data efficiently and use that after the so-called delivery. Okay, so there's two parts of it. There's the delivery that you do, but it's the work that you can do afterwards by using that data. Tarek also mentioned, you know, for us, one of the negatives on it is it's small quantities. For us, our businesses are driven through volume, and on both Q-commerce and specifically Q-commerce, the volumes are very, very small. So it's somebody who's cooking at home and then having a dinner party, they suddenly forgot something, they need something, it gets delivered in 15 minutes. That's all fine and it's great, it drives the brand, but those volumes are not big. So, you know, just in very quick summary, I think there's a space for it. I think us as retailers, specifically food and specifically general merchandise, clothing and those sorts of things, have to be in that space. Whether it'll be a profitable business is also, it's hard to say. It's expensive to run e-commerce and Q-commerce. From our point of view, it's not a cheap exercise, and unless you're doing hundreds of deliveries every day and every month and thousands of deliveries every month, it's an expensive exercise. But I do believe that, like I said, it's a space that we all have to be in as the world has changed over the last 18 months.
Thank you, Wayne, for this perspective. Just to our audience, the chat is open. In the chat window, you can post questions for our panelists, and we'll spare some time by the end of this hour to take some of those questions. So feel free to write them. I would like to leave the grocery space for a moment and move to a more traditional shopping environment, which used to be I think considered an ultimate experience and ultimate convenience and ultimate choice, at least a decade ago, and I mean shopping malls. Now times have changed, and my next question will go to Adam Kołodziejczyk, and it's about shopping malls and how they will need to adjust to stay relevant in the consumer ecosystem of the future.
Thank you. Very well pointed question to me. As we live in the malls ecosystem, I think there are two news, a good one and a bad one. The good news is that the malls will stay relevant for the shoppers. And the bad news is that not all of them. I think that many of the third and fourth tier of the malls would have to redefine how they interact with the customers, because the malls from the first tier, I think there's a big and long future ahead of them. I think the malls that are in smaller locations, not primary locations, would have to be much more locally relevant in a way that some of the space would have to be it's going to be treated as the community service. But also the past year was changing the retail horizon because of the COVID, obviously, and the trend of priority on the safety and convenience, despite the fact that pandemic will be sooner or later over, I think because of the trauma that customers are having will be still relevant. So definitely malls would have to observe this trend and build and organize themselves in a way that would answer this need of the customers. Also, I think there is a big opportunity for the malls to redefine the store format. We see that already. So some of the malls are preparing a lot of pop-up stores, a lot of micro retailing, which is relevant. I know the experience also from one of the landlords that during the pandemic, the mall tried to create a kind of the marketplace for all the stores that were located in this particular mall. This was very interesting. Didn't work out, but it was very interesting, to be honest. Then I think a big theme is the technology. I think with the technology which is related to the VR, virtual reality, and also the endless aisle, meaning that presenting in the brick and mortar store the offerings of the total online, that's an opportunity as well in order to connect those two worlds, meaning the offline and the brick and click part of the business, let's put it this way. But I think also very important is connecting brick and click in a way that the customer experience would have to be totally seamless. In my opinion, customers are more and more channel agnostic. They expect the same treatment, the same experience, the same services that they're having in brick and mortar and having in the online channel. I also believe that in the future, for the malls, they are not going to calculate the revenue per square meter, but the most important KPI for them is going to be experience per square meter, because of the fact that because of this experience that they are going to offer, this is going to create much more traffic. So yes, there is a future for the malls, but some of them would have to, change the way they are working in the future.
Thank you for this, and it's interesting how different ideas on the physical environment that you've been pointing out are actually coming from the online world. So how we are moving online to offline in terms of transfer of ideas, solutions, the utilization of data, the importance of experience for that matter. So clearly, let's say the digital space is in a way transforming the physical space. I think Stanisław is not with us. Maybe I see he's struggling with connection. Maybe he joins later, so we'll come back to some of the questions around physical and shopping malls. But I think I briefly mentioned the topic of responsibility and sustainability in the opening thoughts. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be relevant to all of us, or actually is already relevant to all of us, as a mean to generate really tangible consumer value and shareholder value ultimately. It's still quite difficult to operationalize and put to life, and how to really transfer ESG into value creation in business. So I'm wondering, and this next question will go to Pani Dorota again. And I think circular economy is quite important in the world of health and beauty, also because of the emotional connection of a consumer to the product and the brand. So what are your views on gaining competitive advantages through ESG agenda in business?
Yes, sustainability is crucial nowadays. And once again, as a society, we are much more aware and conscious how important it is. And we would like to actively participate in this planet protection. And we are also making the choices of the brand. We are observing the brand is actively and intensively protecting and doing these steps in sustainability. And I have chance and privilege to work for Rituals brand who cares about customers, about people, about planet, and about the future generation. And how we are doing that, and this is our really mindset. This is everyday small steps in this direction. So we have like 3 pillars. First, it's the ingredients. Second is the packaging. And the third is social causes. And as concern the ingredients, so we want to ensure the quality and don't harm the planet. Then packaging, we would like to reduce the packaging. And we have made a commitment that by 2025, all our packets will be all refillable or recyclable or made from recyclable materials. And this is a journey. Like on daily basis, like one of the example, we decided to reduce the quantity of aluminium by 10% for the shower foam, our best sellers. And we are selling millions of this product. So this is step by step, small initiative to small initiative, and it makes a huge impact. And then we are truly committed to the social causes. We are cooperating with Tiny Miracles. Tiny Miracles, this is a foundation supporting women in India going out of poverty circle. And we started with the yearly donation, but we very quickly understood that it's not enough. So what we did, now these women are producing bags, tissue bags for us. And we are just putting the small facilities at their home, and they can gain the decent income. So I encourage you also and warmly welcome to our stores in Arcadia, Sadyba, Galeria Bałtycka and Riviera, and buy one of these bags, because this is giving the work for these women in India. And we have another activities like that. So what is important is to really be engaged and to really truly care about planet and people. And this is, like I told, it is mindset, and this is this big willingness of daily basis that will give us this advantage comparing to competition.
Pani Stanisławie, welcome, and I see you can hear us.
Yeah, I'm very sorry for that. However, something happened with our internet here, with our internet network, and you see there is something like a poltergeist. Anytime when I try to approach your conference, something that doesn't work. I don't know why. But I'm here. Sorry, am I late for that panel, for that part of the shopping malls?
No, you're okay. Right on time. And yeah, I think we just briefly mentioned the topic of responsibility, which I think is quite relevant, and we might come back to it. But on the shopping malls, I think we've had a brief discussion on how, they will survive, but not necessarily all of them, and how they will need to implement different solutions that are observed in the digital world to the physical experience to stay relevant. These are some of the thoughts that were shared in this panel so far, but we are happy to hear your perspective on, what the shopping malls will need to do to stay relevant for consumer in the future.
Okay, regarding shopping malls, you see, maybe I would start from the basics. Yes, it's necessary to remember that the main feature of the Polish retail market is that shopping malls are the main shopping destination as the result of lack of shopping streets and department stores in the past. This is obvious, yes? And we have created, let's say, probably the most advanced regarding modern times, the retail system. All over the Europe, something like that. We must remember that still in other countries, shopping streets play a very important role, department stores as well. However, shopping malls have taken advantage of the situation and for the long time, and by concluding lease contracts on unequal terms. I mean, let's say, they try to get as much as possible for the situation that was no competition for them on the market. But I believe that now is highest time for shopping centers to understand that this is a mutual business and both sides must have profits. And this is the matter not only of the competition between shopping malls, because their number is increasing rapidly, or has been increasing rapidly in the last years, but also of rapidly growing competitors like discount stores, for example, retail parks, and obviously dramatically rising e-commerce. Yes, and today the role of shopping malls is not the same like 5-7 years ago. It is necessary for them to remember about. However, the main two topics I would like to stress are that first one is omnichannel. What I mean, that pandemic has accelerated online sales, which are today strongly connected with classic retail stores. And what does it mean? That these stores play an important role in e-commerce as places of delivery, of collection, and also of returning goods, as well of sending goods. And they also offer online shopping goods currently unavailable at site. So they can present that, for example, our brand, we can present on the screens yet that we have such items available in our e-commerce shop, but they are not here, and you can order them and you can collect them whenever you want. And this is a significant change in retail comparing to previous years, because in the previous times, the classic retail stores was the only shopping place. However, they are included currently in e-commerce deals in e-commerce network. And why I'm talking about it? Because also shopping malls must accept that the goods buying online cannot be included in the sales results of particular retail stores. And it means that online shopping cannot be included in settlements with tenants, with financial settlements with tenants. Yes? And still they do not understand it, I believe. But regarding the future, what about the profile of the shopping malls in the near future? I think I'm sure even about it, that there will be an increasing demand from the client for personalized service and very professional shopping advice. So customers will expect basic purchases to be completed through near automatic home deliveries, or also as the collection of ready-made sets of products from close convenient locations, not necessarily from shopping malls. Yeah? As the result of a part of basic good suppliers being in shopping malls will have to close their promises. And usually, it's necessary to remember, they cover the quite significant space in a particular mall. It means that shopping malls will be forced to offer a wider range of higher quality products. Today, the higher quality products are in minority in the usual offer of the shopping malls, yes? And also, I mean the higher quality products and higher quality services. It is essential that that the tenants offering high quality services and high quality goods, they will not achieve such high sales results as basic ones. And obviously, our company belongs to such a category. We do not need such large spaces. Summarizing, shopping malls will have to accept lower rental fees, and lower profits for them, which today, even in pandemic, seems to be very difficult and acceptable for them. The pandemic period has shown that, I cannot say that everyone, but some of the best shopping malls still don't understand that, as I said before, this is a mutual business and both sides must have profits. This is my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Panie Stanisławie. And yeah, so it's quite interesting how you seem to echo the opinion that there are elements of digital world that should and must be incorporated in the physical world to increase appeal. Definitely. But also there are some elements in the physical experience that cannot be matched or are the most difficult to be matched in online, which is this personal touch of a shop attendance and really personalized advice and really a conversation in a point of purchase, which seems unique, at least for now, to the physical space. I think all this is more and more difficult if you include the responsibility in the equation, and we've discussed how Panie Stanisławie, before you joined, we've discussed how the shoppers are increasingly, or consumers, and actually we as people are increasingly aware of the importance of recyclability, sustainability, the carbon footprint, I think plastic, metals. These are specific measures that were mentioned by Dorota. The fashion industry seems to be quite ahead in incorporating the responsibility in the business model. So, Panie Stanisławie, I'm wondering what your thoughts are on this topic.
Yeah, you see, I'm not sure if the fashion industry is really ahead, and if fashion industry really plays here a crucial role. You see, it depends on the particular brand, definitely, and also it depends a lot on positioning. Why? Because, for example, I can take as an example our company, solar company, say, the solar brand. As we are considered on the Polish market as a premium brand, as a, let's say, a kind of semi-luxury brand. And definitely, our strategy is to provide our clients with short quantities. We do not need to produce huge quantities of a particular item. What's more, we never repeat a particular style anymore. So what does it mean? Having also a chain of outlets, we are able to sell almost everything finally. Yeah, the lifetime of our products is about 4 or 5 years. Yes, and after 5 years, we stay with maybe, I don't know, 2-3% of the initial quantity of any particular style. And what we can do here, we can offer to the charity organizations or to the people in need. So we do not have such a problem like big companies operating on the basic market, which at the end they have something like, let's say, 10% of their production or something more, but it means millions of pieces, and they don't know what to do. And finally, very often they decide to destroy it. Exactly the same situation, but on the other scale, is with the highest brands, the very luxury brands. Yes, for example, such brands like Vuitton or Hermès or the other ones, they do not have outlets and they do not sell on the bargain price. But finally, they still stay with some quantity of unsold products, and they need also to destroy it to maintain a position of their brands. We do not have such a problem. So therefore, we don't need to do something with unsold pieces. This is very important, I believe. Also, we have such a program in our company. We call it a second life. It means if you have still good quality items, yes, like clothing or toys or some appliance or something like that, offer to the other one. We collect it and we try to send to the people who need it. Yeah, but I think that we should also remember about the basics. What I mean that first there is a need to create in any company real standards and procedures, minimizing production and also very important logistics impact on environment. Because we very often we talk about the production, about products, yes, about such topics, but we do not think about logistics. And a good logistics can minimize also the impact on the environment a lot. And also what I would like to say also that secondly, if the company can afford it, definitely it should help the local community and even act on a wider range if it is possible, yes, in this matter. However, definitely it's necessary to remember that employees should be considered in the first choice for the company, and their broadly understood good should be the most important for the company. Why I'm talking about it? Because if some companies, I wouldn't say about examples. I cannot do that. However, there's such situation that they appear like really taking care about environment. You see about social responsibility, something like that, but they do not think too much about their employees. And there is a very important to find a balance between both sides. Thanks.
I really like the idea of giving clothes second life. We see how vintage is popular. We see the second-hand market growing on e-commerce platforms such as OLX. Zalando has recently launched its second-hand marketplace for used clothes. So I think what you mentioned is quite is quite in line with the trends that we observe elsewhere.
If I can say, Mr. Grzegorz, even if you go to different online shops, especially on higher brands or some multi-brands online boutiques, you can find so-called pre-owned pieces. Yeah, and now it is more and more popular. Before that was not possible to send pre-owned pieces online. Now there is almost the permanent program in many places.
Yeah. I think it's fair to say that nothing we've discussed so far would be possible without using data in the business decisions. And I would like to pass my next question to Tarek again, and it will be on how to best monetize data for better decisions and creating value in retail business.
Okay, thanks again for this question. This is a very interesting topic, data. Each retailer like Carrefour has a good amount of sales data. We are welcoming through our cash lines millions of clients yearly, gathering all the lines of their purchase. So this is huge. As market experts say, data is not a new oil, but from our retailer perspective, data is a new bread, everyday fresh, personalized, and renewable. Now we can look at this data in different ways, as numbers, as transactions, but also it can be so-called events. This is how specialists talk about it today, and it can reflect the behavior and decisions of our clients. This is the essence of every project related to data monetization. Data is the key to better understand the behavior of our customers and to better serve them for all the parties that are involved in this relation with this customer. It becomes then a great value. It allows for better adaptation of our activities and decisions to the customer's eyes. Already today, we can accurately analyze the behavior of groups of consumers in terms of specific categories. Very simple. We can look at whether, for example, shampoo customers also buy hair nutrients and then isolate those who have never bought such a nutrient of this particular brand. We can offer our partners, suppliers, the possibility of precise activation of customers who buy shampoo, offering them the purchase of a nutrient. Here, we do not have a campaign to all customers, only precisely we can reach the precise group of people concerned by this offer and which we want to activate. So we can sell a complementary product. The benefit for the supplier in this example is precise stimulation of the sale of its products as well as stimulating complementary sales without the need to pay for mass media. For Carrefour, it is also a win-win. For Carrefour, its incremental sales are also for us a benefit. What's more, after such activation, we can carefully analyze its effects because we have precise information. So this example illustrates the possibilities of using data to conduct precise marketing, precise campaigns, which will give greater conversion. We are speaking to those who may be interested in the offer and not to everyone. So much lower cost of advertising. This is the benefit for the supplier. The benefit for Carrefour, it's advertising income plus incremental sales. In Poland, we cooperate in this matter, for example, with Sunrise, one of the fastest growing tech company in Poland. And we introduced solutions based on artificial intelligence and personalization algorithms. And to go a step further, it is necessary to automate the way of creating such campaigns so that we can create a large amount of those campaigns. First, our live ramp tool collects data and then creates specific, precise campaigns based on the behavior of our customers in social media and in the Google ecosystem. The supplier can have a cheaper cost of marketing and a greater efficiency because they have a higher speed of conversion versus the classical media. The second aspect is the possibility of selling space on our website and application. Today, within a month, the Carrefour.pl website is visited by over 1 million customers, as it is also the case with the application Carrefour. That is why today we give the opportunity to our partners to communicate with our customers through our website and application. The next stage is to automate the sale of this service. Here we are in a stage of implementation of a tool allowing to automate the use of our advertising space. On the part of Carrefour, we have to make sure that customers spend time as often as possible and as much time as possible with us. The key to this is super interesting, engaging content, and above all, great offers and frequent offers for customers. In order to be able to reach those targets, we, in the Carrefour Group level, we have launched in 2020 a platform so-called Carrefour Links. Carrefour Links is a set of solutions co-developed with the best global tech partners on the market. First, I spoke about LiveRamp. This is the leading data connectivity platform for the safe and effective use of data. Second, Criteo, the world leader in retail media solution that enables retailers to fully leverage their inventory and data and brands to engage with consumers right where the purchasing act occurs. And the last, Data Shopper, the Google Cloud. We have a partnership with Google, one of the world's biggest cloud service suppliers, a series of advanced dashboards providing insights to understand sales dynamics and shoppers' behavior. Our teams are in touch with the Carrefour Group once, and we are starting to implement this since few months in Poland. We are convinced that those tools will also help us to fully optimize the value creation from data monetization at the service, for sure, at the service of our clients.
Thank you, Tarek. With 8 minutes left, I think it's take a look at our chat and the questions from our audience. And the first one is really fascinating, and it touches upon really the different channels within e-commerce channels. So the kind of the own e-commerce versus marketplace. It comes from Piotr Ziarek, and I will read it. I'm curious how, in the opinion of the panelists, the cooperation of retail and marketplaces should look like, as there are more and more of them in the Polish market, Amazon, Shopee to enter soon. What role should be played by retailers' own e-commerce platform, and what can be achieved on marketplaces? Pani Doroto, would you like to take this one?
I think that is perfect symbiosis. We are already doing that with Amazon, what also started with in Poland. So of course, the winning point is that we will touch the customers that perhaps will not come to our stores, but they are already the part of the customers of marketplace. And this is also the same, like we entered the market of Eastern Europe and Poland, working with our wonderful partners, Sephora and Douglas. And then we will stay together like a symbiosis, and also taking opportunity of their e-commerce. And we can see that customers are switching, but sometimes we are just entering the multi-brand shop or platform, and they take advantage to grab from different brands. And then when you want the specific products or perhaps the larger range of products, you will enter the brand e-com and brand retailer store. So the mixture of products can be also the differentiation of these two channels.
So ultimately, it should be a win-win for
absolutely
your own business and marketplace, just by reaching consumers or shoppers who otherwise none of you will be able to reach you.
Absolutely,
yeah.
This is only win-win situation, according to me.
Thank you for this. And I think the final question in this session, and it's actually a topic we haven't touched upon, which I believe is quite significant, and it's about loyalty. and how to loyalize shoppers between different channels, how to really use the omnichannel environment to create this stickiness of shoppers, regardless of the channel, to your brand or to your proposition. So it's a bit of my interpretation of the question that was asked in the chat. Thank you, Pani Radosławie, for raising this question. But really, the loyalty in post-pandemic world. Pani Adamie, is this something you would like to comment on?
I think that there was a loyalty before the pandemic, and there is a loyalty after pandemic as well. I think what's important is to have, I'm talking about our lifestyle program. We have almost 2 million of the users. And for us, the biggest challenge was to assure that the experience of the customer in the brick and mortar store and in the online, in the application, are almost similar. We are not there yet, but definitely for us it's the biggest topic in order to make sure that the customer will stay loyal. Also, what Tarek said, that the personalization and approaching the customers with the offers that are relevant, it's very important, and hence the data importance that Tarek was mentioning about. But definitely in the current world, in the current offerings between the marketplaces, between the loyalty programs of the other retailers, it is very important to be quick and to be on top of any of the customer needs in order to make sure that we are going to answer them in the new developments that we are planning on our website, in our loyalty program, or on our application, or in our e-commerce as well. The key is to have the seamless experience between the channels. That is very important. Otherwise, we are giving the customer a reason to look around, and we prefer not to.
Thank you, Adam. And I think we have still 3 minutes, Pani Doroto. So maybe Wayne, a final thought. How does it look in grocery? And I think, the Polish grocery shopper is famously illoyal. They will be shopping in different stores for different occasions and products. What's the best way to loyalize them in a post-pandemic world?
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, Greg. I mean, so loyalty for me works in numerous ways. Loyalty for me is not just about giving points away and giving the consumer benefits. Loyalty for me has got a lot to do with how you run your business, how that shopping experience is when they come into the store. So it's not just loyalty for us as a Spar brand, where our values are driven on passion, entrepreneurship, and relationships. Are just as important for me as any loyalty type program, whether it be online or directly in the store. Loyalty is driven, like I said, through numerous channels and numerous avenues. So it is a challenge here in Poland, because the consumer, like I said, is very driven on price. And to get into the price game and into a price war is difficult. It costs us money ultimately to remain competitive. But coming on to loyalty programs specifically, again, it comes back to data. It comes back to the data that's used out of those loyalty programs, and that for me is the most important, as opposed to just the loyalty scheme as it is. It's how you use that data to get that consumer back into the store based on shopping patterns and habits.
The time is up. Thank you for participating. Thanks to all the audience for being in this session, and I wish everyone the good rest of the day and interesting sessions in the rest of the conference. Pani Dorota, over to you.
Dziękuję bardzo, panie Grzegorzu. Dziękuję bardzo państwu. Z przyjemnością słuchałam. Bardzo dużo wiedzy, także i zrównoważony rozwój, i najwyższa jakość obsługi, quick commerce, no bardzo dużo trendów, lojalność, dane, mnóstwo informacji, ale to tylko pierwsza debata dzisiaj, także będą kolejne. Dziękuję jeszcze raz państwu za udział.